Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Commander Class Rodimus Prime WFC-K29. You can see him there in his truck mode, and we'll put it off to the side because we're going to look at the box real quick because, yep, it's different than the usual box because Commander Class. You can see there, yeah, it's big old full-scale artwork of Rodimus in robot and vehicle mode, Kingdom, Transformers, Hasbro, Generations to Kartomi, Rodimus Prime with Cybertron up there. On the top here, you have the Autobot symbol plus some, of course, the glyphs from the disc. You got on the side the continuation of the artwork from the front, including also Commander Class right there. Hey, look, the arc's way up here. On the side, of course, you have the line artwork and authentic Transformers and all that stuff. On the bottom, you have some copyrights and whatnot. And, of course, on the back, you have product shots, all stuff you can do and whatnot. Also some warnings. In the box along with the figure, you have the instructions, which are actually pretty thorough. Show you a lot of the stuff that happens. Also, it's a pretty complex transformation. And the card, which, again, Dinobot. Dinobot's Black Arachne is like crazy. And this one shows, if I can get that off, just the switch access, I don't know, Predacon Maximal, him running away from the Predacons, I don't know. Potential future. Yeah. Now, the figure himself. Rodimus Prime. Yeah, so when it was announced that Rodimus Prime was going to be a Commander class figure, not surprisingly, a lot of people kind of took umbrage to that because, well, what are they doing trying to charge $80 for Rodimus Prime? He is not that big of a guy. He shouldn't be that big of a guy. Haven't we learned anything from Power of the Primes? And, well, their whole, reason for it was, the trailer. That's a fairly large trailer. But, yeah, you can see he's, red, yellow, orange. You can see the flame effects on the side. There's the orange down here. See, he's got the Autobot symbol there, some yellow headlights picked out, the blue canopy, the silver smokestacks. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. He's got a bunch of wheels. He's got a back end, which has some detailing molded in right there. Got an Autobot symbol on the top here, along with yellow and orange stripes. Lots of 5mm ports all over. On the bottom side, you can see, some of the clutter down here, including this, things storage, including that sword, which we'll get to later, and all that stuff. Yeah, he does roll. You can see that. The rims are also unpainted, which some people are upset about because he's $80. Why is he not painted? But again, this one thing doesn't really bother me that much, and the shape and everything makes it really easy to all paint them yourself if you want. Yeah, he's actually pretty chunky for a all that's considered, which he should be because he is Commander class. Some people don't like the split here, but it's kind of necessary for him to split apart and everything for his transformation. He's actually got a lot going on here. It's a good looking thing. The other thing, of course, is some people are upset because this sticks out, I guess, further than it's supposed to, according to the G1 cartoon. In the original Choi in the cartoon, this kind of snuggled up against further up closer to the trailer, so this thing was kind of sitting more back here, and people were hoping that would be the case, but it turns out no, it kind of sticks out further than it used to. I personally, I don't really care about that much. It still looks good to me. I know some people don't really like it, but I know some people are going to hyperbolic because one said, "Oh, Rodimus is such a great thing, but this thing is hideous because this sticks out further." It's like, all right, cool. Like literally, they actually used the word hideous, and I was like, okay, it's yours. Someone I should not take their opinion into account at all. But anyway, actually, I just think, don't drop it. I actually think it looks really good. Looks, I think, just generally really good. It's got a good solid weight to him and everything. Yeah, it's a good solid figure. I'll get into the price, whether or not it's worth the price later, because he's got a lot of stuff with him, including all this stuff you can see. Of course, you see the sword just chilling out down there. Up here, this is actually a little storage part, and you can I found out that yes, if you're careful, you can put every single accessory on him stored somewhere. Yeah, you got a couple of the effect parts kind of just stored in there. You can see those. Blast effects. Just kind of peg those together, close that up. And another thing is, down here is actually a little tray right here, this little red piece. It's a tray. You can open that up, slide it out, detach if you want. Yeah, again, more effect parts can be stored down here. 3 of these little blue tip things. Of course, you can plug them in like that if you want. Little rocket boost. Yes, it's the same one, I believe, which was kind of Mega Supreme and I think Jetfire, or maybe it was Jetfire? Yeah, or some of them. There's a lot of the same effects that we've seen, just now in blue. Got these 2 extra tips as well, which you can, of course, if you want, plug them here. Kind of, I guess, as a fire trails, down here. You'll see these. There's supposed to be a black smoke effect right there. They actually have a dedicated storage spot right there. And this is for the Matrix, which we'll get into that because you can't really get to the Matrix very easily in this mode. But yeah, this is for the Matrix. I'll just pull it out now. Yeah, so that's those things. Just a little thing. You this little rail, just slide that in. Nice little storage there. These are cool because, well, these are shaped so they can peg onto this. There's there's actually 3 ports on this, so you can kind of adjust how you want it to go, but at least you can do that. So yeah, I guess do the whole driving along, just kick up a lot of smoke, that whole thing if you want. Yeah, so actually quite a bit of the storage. And of course, on the back here, you can open this up. Ta-da! You can open this up. And this is where I put the gun and some other blast effect parts. And the gun right there, again, we'll get back to that. But yeah, folds up and more effect parts. Because yeah, there's just enough room. Just enough. Yeah, you just do this one big explosion if you want. There's a ramp there. I'll show that in a bit, but yeah, but you can see the ramp there because stuff can drive into there. Right now there's a thing occupying that space. Yeah, it just opens up and it's actually got a little faux hydraulic system and everything. It's pretty neat. It's actually really neat. And one thing is this thing right here. You can see Ryan actually is pretty well closed. Some minor gappage, but nothing huge. Thing is, yeah, a lot of these are coming with this thing where it cannot close all the way. In fact, you try to close it, it'll just pop itself back apart. And the going theory is because of how it's strapped into the box and the heat of just the summer while shipping, it's causing the plastic to warp a bit. So there's been various fixes. Some people have added floor polish to the tabs or something. Someone's added a spacer to force the tabs into place. What I did was I heated this up with a hairdryer, and then just, when it got all soft, I just held it all together and just did that for a few minutes and then let go and just kind of let it sit for a while. And it's a lot better. You can still see some gapping, but it's actually now stays together. Although I think under these lights, it's actually going to might get a little bad again. But yeah. I think it works really well. And of course you can separate. You just pull this down. There's actually just tabs in up here. You just pull this down and slide it out. Put that off to the side for now. Yeah, this is the kind of a base. It's not a hot rod because apparently there's an episode, and I kind of remember it, which is he did in fact separate from the trailer, and as Rodimus Prime, he did separate in kind of this weird bulky car thing. I guess it's supposed to be a truck. Supposed to be. But yeah, you got this weird bulky car thing. And yeah, it's kind of neat actually. Back here you just kind of see just feet chilling out. But he's still got silver pipes and everything. You can, once again, if you want, attach the smoke effects. Because yeah, there's 3 things, and yeah, you can do that. All that stuff. You got the more ports showing up. Yeah, it looks really nice, actually. It just generally looks really nice. It still rolls like this, of course. You got the big spoiler and another port right there. And yeah, it works really well. And it's a really simple system of just slot it back in and just slot it back in. And there you go. And just make sure it goes all the way back. And then it'll just kind of tab itself in and you're good to go. It's really simple and really clever. No having to fuss about with it or anything. It just works. So there's that. Yeah, it just looks really nice. Real quick comparison stuff, I guess, just because demanded. Yeah, comparisons. I guess I'll get the obvious one out of the way. Here he is with Hot Rod, Studio Series Hot Rod specifically. Just because, well, this is the most recent one. I'm not going to get a whole bunch of Hot Rods out this time. I don't think that's necessary, but yeah, I'll just get the most recent one that's kind of sort of in the same line he's supposed to be in, sort of. You can see bit of a size difference, obviously. Bit of a look difference. And yeah, even separated from the trailer, you can see there's a significant size difference between the two. This guy is pretty bulky and densely packed. There is actually quite a bit of weight to him. So there's that. Here he is with Earthrise Optimus, and this is, this is a leader class figure. You can see again those trailers. This is a significantly larger trailer than this one that came with the Prime here. You can see that. Like, that is significantly larger. And that's where a lot of the cost goes to, is because he's got this big old trailer. You can see, yeah, it's just pretty close in length, although again, Rodimus is longer. Yeah, that's a lot of it right there. And because I guess some people are, kind of freaking out about the size of it and kind of forgetting that class is not equal size in Transformers. Here he is with Earthrise Skylynx. Actually pretty comparable in size, all things considered. Skylynx is a bit heavier, but pretty comparable in size. Actually, you can kind of see that, I hope. Yeah, he's pretty good size. And then Siege Jetfire. Again, size-wise, he's got the wingspan, but again, hold on. See, not actually that much difference. Yes, Rodimus, I think, is technically the smallest of the three so far, but honestly, and lightest, but not by much. Yeah, Skylynx is just kind of weirdly heavy, but yeah, size-wise, he's not much smaller than the other two Commander class figures. So if anyone's freaking out about the fact, well, it shouldn't be $80 because he's not that big, he still is. Some final comparisons, in this mode anyway. Here he is with Power of the Primes, Rodimus Prime. Again, you can see quite a size difference there, a leader versus a commander. And also differences in shape. So there's that. And I have one. Here he is with the old classics Rodimus with the Fans Project Protector armor. Significant size difference there. There we go. That wasn't all the way in. Yeah, a significant size difference there. Yeah, but that's the thing. Everything? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much everything. So, real quick, I'm going to take a look at the trailer here. So I'm going to pull this guy out. And, yeah, the trailer here, it's pretty simple. Just go ahead and take this piece and, actually, before that, open this up right there. You can see the gun. For now, I'll pull this out of the way because I think Hot Rod should pull it. I'm just going to do it because he's convenient. Yeah, a lot of the deluxes can fit in here. Not all of them, and he's a bit wide anyway, but a lot of them can, in fact, pull into the little bay here and be stored back here if you want. Most of them, again, Hot Rod is wide on the wider side, so yeah, if you like Bumblebee or Trax or Wheeljack, I just don't have any conveniently with me. I kind of forgot to grab one, but yeah. Any of the deluxe, most of the deluxe class cars can fit in this trailer. Although, yeah, you open up, you pull this open inside, and you pull this down, and that does weird things in itself. You pull that down, and then pull this open, and there you go. Trailer's transformed. This ramp kind of sits like that now. This can actually open up further like this, so you have even further access to the storage. whatever. So they got that. There's a billion 5mm ports in here, including on there too. There's just tons of 5mm ports. And of course, you got the gun, which that's the other thing. Some people have trouble with the gun and closing the trailer up with the gun inside. Apparently, it's a big thing. Is like, one, make sure you're using that 5mm port. Two, make sure that these panels right here are folded up and not down. And three, it just kind of comes down to making sure it's this flat. If this isn't plugged in all the way on this port, or it's plugged in at an angle, it will not. There's a little notch here for this little tab. There's a little tab and notch here. If those aren't all lined up, this will kind of cause this to unseat and things will go bad, and probably the whole thing will not close up properly like you want it to. So just an FYI on that. So yeah, it can be a little annoying, but it's, you know, once you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy. But yeah, this of course you just unfold that and pull these blast panels out. Yeah, and make sure this is fully seated. It can feel like it's fully seated. And you can take these handles. Take these handles and pull them up like that. And you can, of course, separate that and fill the peg up. And now it's kind of like it's on treads, although there's no wheels down here. It's on treads, so you can kind of have a rolling thing. There's this thing. I'm not 100% certain what that's for. I kept looking like in the instructions. There's nothing in the instructions about it. I think this is... I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure that out. I think it's just for if you have it standalone or something, because if I have it extended with, at least I try. Let me try that. I'm going to see that. Because I had last time I had this extended while trying to plug this in, it just didn't work. Yeah, it works now. So maybe this is for like sake of stability. Yeah, because that closes up. So yeah, maybe this is for the sake of stability there. Yeah, probably, because every single time I tried it before, maybe it's just I was having trouble, but yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to keep that all plugged in. That's the base mode. And of course, this thing is compatible with blast effects, because of course it is. Alright, so we'll go ahead and transform the main figure now. So also one thing you got to do there is, of course, untap the sword. We'll put that off to the side for now. Re-aim the hammer. Yeah, sword tabs on the bottom. Pretty simple. So first thing there is then take this panel and bring it over and tab it in up here. Same on this side. Take this panel and bring it over and tab it in. Then you go and take this whole thing and lift that up like that. And then from there, what you want to do is, let's see, what was it? Right, I believe is, yeah, go ahead and start untabbing this stuff right here. And you want to untab this stuff right here, untab it from the underside, and then bring these out like that. So, and go ahead and untab the windshield if it hasn't come done already. Bring this all out right here, and take this panel right here, and just you want to take that and push that back into the thing like that, and take these panels and fold them up into the chest like that. Rotate the head around. So, yeah, there's some clever stuff going on. It's just transformation. Anyway, from there you want to go ahead and take these and then just kind of bring them back up like that. Just get them out of the way. You want to bring this panel, kind of want to bring that down. You want to rotate this around 180, the waist, then bring this down on this hinge. And then there's this right here, because you want to rotate this up here at 180 as well. So that you need the clearance, so you need to have this rotated first. There is kind of a weird, like there is a specific order of operations. If you don't do it, it will not work. You bring these down, and then you want to fold it up at this hinge right here, and this tab will go into that slot right there. Might take a good bit of force or something, but yeah, they didn't make sure that's also make sure this whole assembly is straightened out like that. It'll look like that. Same thing on this side. Bring this down. Rotate that up. It's double hinge to make sure. Sometimes it can get out of alignment a little bit before it all tabs together. Tab that together and make sure to bring it down. So the head can be a little weird. You got not the head, the chest can be a little weird here. You're supposed to bring this up and it's supposed to tab in all the way, and it can be a little. Because what happens is there's actually right here, this stuff right here can actually tab, and it needs to tab into this black thing, and it's all supposed to settle in. Sometimes it doesn't like to tab properly. It's hard to explain, but there's a thing you got to do. It's kind of one of those things. It's like it makes sense when you do it, but like kind of have to like tap it in such a way that it's like you're actually more or less pushing down and not back like you think you are. There we go. Tab that in. Yeah, it can be a little bit of a struggle, but yeah. Then you take this gray piece right here, and that tabs into the windshield right there. Like that. Rotate this around, and then this right here, this little 3-prong thing will go into this slot right there. There's a double hinge here. You want to make sure this is folded down just right, so it'll just slot in, and there you go. That's pretty much backpack done. Now here, what you do is you take this piece right here, and you fold that down, and then rotate it that way. And then you can lift this tab out of the hand, and then rotate this around. On top of that, you also need to take this and extend the elbow out just a little bit. It clicks into place. And then back here, this will tab into this little slot back here. That, and this thing will also tab in. There's a little slot right there for this to tab in as well. Once it's all into place, like that. And then up here at the wheel actually splits out the rim out. There's a little tab on this, and it'll go into a slot right here, and you just slide the wheel up, and tab that in. Like so. That's one arm done. So yeah, take this arm, extend that one click, take this, open up the rim, rotate it so that the tab is facing the right way. Slot that in, or I slide that in, then tab that in. And take this part, pull that down, rotate that, open up the panel, rotate it 180, bring this around, close it up on the back, so it tabs in, and tabs in, like so. Fix the backpack if you need to. And down here in the legs, what you want to do is open, untab this, and then that lets you rotate, open that up, extend the leg out, and then this part right here, you want to again slide the wheel in. It's on the slider. Then you push it in. You kind of have to push it past this thing. And that wheel will kind of go into this slot right here, like that. And then you can take this and close this up. Around this will there's a little tab right here which will go in this slot. You may not always want to stay in place because you've got something's just slightly out of alignment. Yeah, then do that and then open up the foot. That's one leg done. And of course, open that up again, open this up, extend the leg like so. Slide the foot in, or slide the leg, or wow, slide the wheel in. Rotate it inward into the side of the leg, and bring this in, tab this in the back, and then open up the foot. And you have, once you've got everything dealt with, Rodimus in his robot mode. Yeah, so it's a fairly involved transformation, as you saw, which, again, Commander class, which the other two commanders that have come out so far have actually had fairly simple transformations. This guy's got a very complex one to justify his price, because he is, well, not, as you can see, he is not actually, for his figure is actually not that large. He's not actually a large figure per se, he's very complex. His transformation is quite complex. I mean, he's got that big old trailer to kind of fill out the price point, but he's also got a lot of engineering to make his transformation pretty clever. It's actually a really good transformation. I really like it. And cleans up, again, it cleans up pretty well. He's got a bit of a backpack, but, well, it's Hot Rod Rodimus, so of course he does. I mean, he's supposed to have this spoiler thing on his back too and everything, and he looks like Rodimus Prime. I mean, yeah, he just looks like Rodimus Prime. He's got his kind of older face. He's still got the orange and yellow on his chest, and the red and the orange thighs and all that stuff. Orange here on the forearms, the gray hands, all that stuff. He's got everything he's supposed to, and he's a pretty big guy and everything. Only thing, real quick. Yeah, you can see his He's got a bit of a withered looking face, blue eyes and silvery. Some people complain about this feeling it looks too old, but then again, I don't know, this kind of reflects what Rodimus feels like on the inside, probably. You can see the flame effects, and you can see the orange. There's actually little bits of black lining inside those right there on the thighs, which is kind of nice. And then you have some detailing on the shins and whatnot. But yeah, of course you can see the silver piping and all that stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of extra stuff on this guy that just works out really well. And it's just, I got those weirdly kind of like just extra steps like this. Like there's no reason. They literally didn't have any real reason to make these do what they do, the whole slide and tab, but they did anyway just to clean it up a bit and make it look a little more accurate, I guess. Although somewhat accurate, I don't know. It's that weird thing of like it's G1-esque, but with some extras bits to it. Yeah, it's overall a really good figure, and of course he's got his accessories including his gun, which unfold that, it pegs into itself pretty solid. Unfold that and click into place, and then just peg into his hand, which might have to unfold the fingers a bit to get into his hand. And of course his sword. This sword you actually have to open up the hand to get it in there because of the little thing at the bottom. Yeah, you can just open that up, get the sword in there, close it up, and there you go. Apparently it's the Sword of Primus, I believe, like in the IDW comics. At least the older IDW comics now. So yeah, you got those accessories. Oop. So unpeg that by mistake. And of course, this thing is, I'm going to use a smaller one, blast effect compatible. If I can get it on there, as usual. Steel blast effect, all that stuff. Yeah, this looks really good. I just really like this guy. Couple little flaws. Yeah, I can see. I keep trying to fix the backpack. I don't know why, but it doesn't take much for my guy's backpack to just pop off. Really annoying that. Doesn't really take much, and it's also really easy to get out of position, so it doesn't want to tab back in very easily. Easy to fix, but annoying. There are, as this is a very common thing on mine, is no different, which is little bits of stress. You can see little tiny stress marks right there. They're not getting any worse, but yeah, these little tiny stress marks along that hinge, so just watch it for that. Also, these these back pieces right here on the legs tend to have a tendency to like not want to stay tabbed in, so that's a little bit of annoyance. But other than that, mine's pretty solid. The other thing is some people have reported that the paint on the chest, particularly right here up on the upper chest, has a tendency to be really messed up. Mine is pretty solid. Mine's got a little bump right there, but a lot of people have reported like worn out paint, like paint's just worn right here. Mine's fine. Thank God. But yeah, so there's stuff like that. Of course, you can interact with the trailer and I guess the gun. Pull that out of its hand real quick. Again, you got these handles, which you can just stand them on here and you can grab this. Oop, if I can get it all positioned properly. You can grab the handles there on the gun. Use that. So you can do that whole thing, which is real nice. Again, you can also pop this off and be separate if you want. Of course, fold that peg in and do so. Yeah, you can do that whole thing. You can wield this, no problem. And yeah, this thing also, you go up and down there, and you got all that stuff on this guy. Yeah, that's I guess the articulation of the gun emplacement is the top of the thing can look up and down, the bottom can look up and down, you can flap the blast shields, and this can rotate. That's the articulation on that. This turret thing can also all attach to him. What you do is you got to take this and move that peg up, kind of do that, move these back, then rotate this around, and there's this peg and this tab which will go in this peg hole and this slot right there. So it becomes a backpack for him with a gun on it. See that? And it goes in pretty well. Although the problem is, the back panel here can be a little finicky, but he actually still stands pretty well without, you know, any extra assistance. So that's a thing you can do. You can still, you know, angle this up and you can swivel it a bit, but you know, the spoiler will be there, but yeah. Or of course, just, heck, you can even do that. Of course, that just makes it even more heavy, and yeah, there he goes. Yeah, you can actually still just carry it around like that if you want. So, that's the thing you can do. Getting out of that could be a bit of a pain. Yeah, that's a thing. So, there you go. Go ahead and put this in the back right here. Put that in the back there. Oh yeah, it's another accessory. Of course, he has the Matrix, which just take the chest and open that down. You can see the Matrix in there. Call tabs in pretty good. Yeah, it's tabbed in pretty good. And also it's kind of small. It's got a peg hole in the back, which fortunately there's also another thing, which is people were hoping you could attach the Matrix disc. You cannot. There's a little peg hole in the back, but that is for this thing. Well, actually it's not. You can't use it for that thing, but yeah, just plug this over and yeah, Matrix effect. He can hold the Matrix, although it's a weird thing because it's once again that weird thing of the Matrix is kind of small for his hands. Although that's the other thing, Robin does have kind of large hands for his size. They're not as bad in person, but they are definitely quite large, and it's easy. It's just kind of try to get the. I guess you can kind of hold it, but it's a weird process. Trying to get him to hold it. You just need to kind of get a finger in there. Don't throw it. You kind of have to do this weird thing where get his thumbs in through the little thing, and there you go. He can hold it. You can light the darkest hour. Hold that. There you go. It's activating. He's turning into Rodimus Prime. He's throwing Galvatron out of Unicron, everything, all that stuff. The sword actually has a little peg handle. I forgot about that. The peg, this little handle right here, or peg hole. You can push that out. You know, get that out there. And then that can just peg on his back. You know, for storage if you want on the robot mode if you don't want him holding it, or just storage anywhere really. Because again, you can there's a billion peg holes in that. So yeah, lots of accessories. The trailer itself. There you go. Articulation though, there's a lot of good articulation here. A head is actually on a ball joint, so left and right, up and down. Lots of waggle. He's also got a neck joint, which is forward and back. The next one down to the base of the neck, so you got a lot there. Shoulders can go full 360, although the spoiler gets in the way. They go outward. They do actually have butterfly, so it's a slight butterfly. The chest itself can get a little bit in the way, but slight butterflying right there. Just every bit, but it's a little bit there. Bicep swivel. He's got a double jointed elbow, so lots of range there. Wrists can actually swivel, although they kind of bang in the pipes there unless you tilt them in, which then you get the swivel there. That's how tilting is helpful for the Matrix. Fingers, you actually have they open and close, and they are separated. The pointer finger is separate from the rest of the hands, and they all also have a knuckle joint as well. So that's a thing. Yes, you can have them pointing if you want. He does have a waist swivel, although it's kind of bangs in the backpack a bit, but it's not until you got pretty good range before that happens. No ab crunch though. I would have loved to have had ab crunch at this point, but it does not. I guess engineering. At least I can't see an ab crunch. But yeah, he's got hips though, which forward pretty far, back about that far, outward about that far. Got a thigh swivel, good range there. He's got double jointed knees, although you kind of have to do that weird thing of you have to bend them a very specific way to get the maximum amount of a curl out of them. But yeah, he does have double jointed knees. Feet, ankles can go about that far. You got the hinge here. And he does actually have Forward, well, no, not really backwards. Forward gives you actually more tilt on the ankle as well. So yeah, actually really good articulation, again, which is expected because he's all $80, so he's basically a Voyager with a lot of extra money being thrown into him. You know, like a lot of third parties used to do. We didn't bulk then when it was cost us $80 for a deluxe or whatever. That was the thing. It's like people were like, well, Hasbro's trying to do this. Well, we kind of proved that we were willing to pay $80 for a figure this size, so why not they do it? Also, because of the whole trailer. Well, that's one thing. Yeah, my biggest pet peeve with this guy is that it takes it come untabbed really easily. Yeah. Comparisons, though. Let's see. Let's go in this order. Here he is with Studio Series Hot Rod. You can see a very good size difference. Can't remember if that's 100% accurate, but you know he is supposed to be bigger, so there's that. Here he is with Galvatron. Galvatron is bigger, which is not quite right. I believe they're supposed to be roughly the same height. I think Galvatron maybe is slightly bit taller, but you know, still works. Still works. So you got that. Still works pretty well. Here he is with Earthrise Optimus, roughly the same height. Actually, Optimus I think is a wee bit taller, just a smidge, but still about right. This is more or less what it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be. The absurd one of here is Siege Jetfire. Again, yeah, you can see significantly taller, but yeah, it's kind of how it's supposed to be. But not significantly bigger, considering if you put the trailer into effect. Here's Earthrise Skylynx. Again, bigger, but you know, factor in the trailer, not a whole lot bigger. And of course, he's in some previous generations Rodimus. There we go. Didn't want to stand properly. Yeah, here he is with the Power of the Primes version, which, yeah, he's bigger, but well, I guess a lot of people complain that he's out of scale, so there's that, because he kind of is. I still kind of like this guy, but I think I want to possibly get rid of this one and get the Unicronus version that I never got around to getting. The old Fans Project Protector. Now, actually, funnily enough, about the same size here. Fans Project actually had a good idea, good sense with that one. But yeah, it's very heavily stylized. You can tell. So there's that. And fun fact, the whole set, you know, the Rodimus and the Fans Project armor and everything, all considered way back in the day, would have cost you about $95. So, and he's smaller. So, food for thought. Yeah. So, that's Rodimus Prime. I genuinely like this guy. This guy, I was really looking forward to. This was like, of all the figures I was getting this year, this was like the one I was looking forward to. I was like really excited about it. And I know a lot of people were complaining, but I just kind of ignored it. And when I got it, outside of a couple little things, I had to fix the trailer, and the backpack doesn't like to stay tabbed in when I mess with it. And the back of the shins, the back of the leg doesn't like to stay tabbed in either. Other than those little small things, he largely lived up to my own hype, and I am absolutely glad I got him. He is a fantastic Rodimus. The only thing is, a lot of the cost does go to the trailer and the engineering of the transformation and whatnot. So if you don't care about the trailer, this is going to be a hard sell for you. It's that the trailer is a significant chunk of the cost. It will look cool on it, and the trailer does take up a lot of space. It's one of those things I'm going to have to like put figures on the trailer and the display, but not a huge deal in my opinion. The thing is, that's where it comes. The engineering in the trailer. If these things do not appeal to you, if the trailer is not appealing to you, if you don't really care about the transformation that much, if you would not mind a simpler transformation, it's going to be hard to justify the $80. But if you love the trailer and you love Rodimus, this is a no-brainer. This is absolutely go for it. $80 is actually a good price considering what you get. It is not actually as small as people like to say it is. It's just people are just going, like for some reason they think $80 for this, and they only think of the figure and not the trailer. They just because they're thinking of the Earthrise Optimus trailer, which was just a box. This trailer is big. It has a lot of storage compartments. It's got the gun. It's got a good weight to it. It's just, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like they did put value, they put the money in for this. They did kind of more or less, in my opinion, justify that $80. But if, yeah, those extra components, and of course there's the blast effects and whatnot, but yeah, if those components don't appeal to you, it's going to be harder for you to justify. But I absolutely adore this, and I say any Hot Rod or Rodimus fan out there should absolutely pick this guy up. He is definitely worth it, in my opinion. It's just, yeah, this is the trailer, really. And it's that trailer is going to make up a large chunk of the cost, and that might upset you. And you might have to wait for him, hopefully, to go down in price, but he might not. He seems to sell it pretty quick whenever he shows up in for sale. I got mine via Walmart, but Walmart, Target, Big Bad Toy Store, a lot of the other specialty stores online have started getting them in stock recently. Yeah, for about $80, $85, depending where you go, because the price bumped a little bit. Yeah, he's popping up in stock in places. You just got to know where to look, and there you go. I think it's definitely worth a buy, but you may think otherwise just because you're not interested in the trailer or something. But I think he's just good, personally, and I have no regrets on getting this guy. So I hope that's it. Oh, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my Patreon and Coffee. Those will be linked in the description and at the end of the video. And I see you next time with another video review.